When a commercial tile floor turns dark and grimy, the immediate assumption is usually that the cleaning crew is simply cutting corners. The crew might be scrubbing the floor every single night. The actual culprit is a physical mismatch built directly into the floor's materials. Standard ceramic tile is glazed, creating a flat, solid surface that repels liquids and dirt on contact. But the grout holding those tiles together is a cementitious material full of microscopic open pores. Commercial grout acts like a sponge, capable of absorbing up to 15% of its own weight in liquid, pulling in everything from spilled coffee to dirty mop water. Treating a highly porous sponge exactly the same way as a glazed tile is a structural error that guarantees the floor will never stay clean. The standard reaction to these dirty lines is to attack them with aggressive chemicals, usually heavy acids or undiluted bleach. In the short term, this works. Bleach kills surface bacteria and makes the floor look brighter for a day or two. This approach triggers a destructive cycle. Those cleaners actively dissolve the cement matrix, breaking structural bonds and driving stains deeper into the material. Over time, the chemical damage forces those microscopic pores to expand, leaving the grout permanently open and exposed. With these wider gaps, the floor simply catches more debris. The grout lines get twice as dirty, twice as fast, because the soil has a much larger space to settle into. Aggressive daily maintenance chemicals degrade the floor's integrity rather than cleaning it. Halting that damage requires a shift to professional extraction and sealing, which targets the material's porosity directly. A professional intervention begins with an inspection, followed by a specialized alkaline pretreatment. This pH 11 solution breaks down organic matter without attacking the cement. During agitation, a rotary tool fitted to the width of the grout joint scrubs the line at 1200 RPM, loosening the embedded grime that standard mopping cannot reach. A truck-mounted vacuum then pulls that dirty solution out. Instead of pushing water around the surface, the suction removes the contaminants from the pores entirely. Because an empty pore will just refill, a penetrating silicone-based hydrophobic sealer is applied to fill those gaps and create an invisible barrier. This sealer blocks future liquid absorption, extending the time between required deep cleans by 3 to 4 times. Extraction removes the root problem, but the sealing step is what actually resets the floor's structural defense. You still have to determine if a floor is salvageable or if it is already damaged past the point of return. A clear threshold exists at the 20% mark. If more than 20% of the grout lines in a given area show crumbling, cracking, or separation, cleaning is no longer viable. Crossing that line necessitates mechanical regrouting. Technicians must use multi-tools to grind out and discard the failing cement matrix. In commercial kitchens or wet areas, that old cement is replaced with epoxy grout. It is virtually non-porous and resists the chemical staining that ruins standard floors. An epoxy regrout creates a highly resilient floor, but it represents a massive capital expenditure for the building. Delaying professional maintenance eventually makes this costly structural replacement unavoidable. Scheduling professional grout cleaning is a financial decision made to avoid that structural failure. The industry benchmark for a standard 200 square meter commercial floor is $1,470. That budget covers the full scope of work: the inspection, the pH 11 pretreatment, the machine extraction, and the application of a commercial penetrating sealer. Compare that single line item against the compounding costs of using aggressive chemicals every night that actively ruin the material. Then compare it against the extreme premium of a full epoxy regrouting project, which is priced by the lineal meter. That $1,470 is a calculated risk mitigation investment. It protects the floor against the kind of catastrophic capital loss that comes with a full floor failure. Protecting that investment relies entirely on changing daily staff habits. Facilities must transition away from bleach and move exclusively to pH-neutral cleaners for all daily mopping to preserve the sealer. Spills require an immediate response, ideally within a 30-second window, so they cannot bypass the sealer and sink into the grout pores. The final layer of defense is grit management. Barrier mats at all entry points trap abrasive dirt at the door, preventing it from grinding into the grout lines like sandpaper. In commercial floor care, daily prevention is always cheaper than annual restoration. If your facility has structurally sound but discolored grout, and staff are currently relying on bleach for appearance, A routine deep extraction is the necessary next step. If you manage wet areas and more than 20% of the joints are separating or crumbling, you should bypass cleaning and budget for regrouting. Long-term floor longevity is achieved entirely by managing the physical porosity of your materials. By properly extracting and sealing those microscopic pores, your entire commercial floor system will survive its daily traffic. Proper maintenance replaces the frustration of a dirty floor with a predictable maintenance cycle that keeps the facility operational.